Good morning, everybody. This is IT Live Tuesday morning show. Texas Homer, Paul Wadlington. We talk about Sam Houston, the upcoming matchup, and we'll do a quick little thing on UTEP, but we like to be a little more forward-facing on this here show. And it's brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. You know one place you should go, Paul, for elite analysis all the time? Inside Texas.
Yeah.
Thank you. Got it. You got it. Join for just $1 for your first week and get a full year of access to The Athletic. Also, our main man, Andre the Lawyer, is doing a ticket giveaway right now. Go to the Inside Texas Instagram to enter. The post will give you all the details, like the post, tag a friend, that kind of stuff. But you'll get 2 tickets to the Sam Houston game in a really good section. You'll get a parking pass, all of that. Big thank you to Andre the Lawyer. And then I will add the link to join or to see the post in the description as soon as the show is over. Paul. Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
So, quick thoughts on UTEP. Like I said, you did a really good postmortems, but we don't want to stew in it too much longer. But you always have a good take. So, what are your quick thoughts on the Miners?
I thought the D played pretty well overall. Was not impressed with the offensive performance by Texas, obviously. Wasn't a lot of what UTEP did necessarily. I mean, if you have a clean pocket and you have a wide open receiver, the expectation for a college quarterback is that you hit the receiver, right? Arch didn't do that. And then the running game, not very impressive. Can I address one thing very quickly, Connor?
Sure.
Anytime people thwart our running game, it's not because they loaded the box.
Yeah.
No one has loaded the box against us all year. In fact, Ohio State played down a man, usually, a light box. UTEP, for a lot of the game, had 3 safeties across deep. So that's the antithesis of loading the box. So I understand people like, Arch has got to hit these throws if they're loading up the box. Well, there's no loaded box, but he does have to hit any throws that are open to him. So I just want to address that. I think people hear that and sort of assume any failure in the run game is because we're getting outnumbered, or maybe they've heard a color announcer say it once on a broadcast. I don't know, but no one's loading a box. Boxes are honest or light.
I wish they were, dude.
I wish they were. We'd have some solutions and some things we could do about it, maybe. But the fact is, there were a lot of snaps where our offensive line lost head-to-head against a guy from UTEP.
Number 7 was cooking us, dude. You would have thought he was an All-American. Number 7 on the line.
He whipped Brandon Baker a few times, like Brandon Baker slapped his mom.
Yeah, it was there was that one series, I think it was in the first quarter down at the goal line. He made like 3 plays straight. And I'm like, what is going on, man? Yeah.
Connor Stroh had a snap where he fired out on zone. Wasn't touched by a UTEP defender, was brushed by the center, and he fell to the ground.
Yeah.
There were a couple of plays where Connor knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man.
We're not going to pull that play for the deep dive, are we?
No, I think we'll be good because there's nothing to add besides like,
because there's no analysis there.
Yeah, it's just like sheesh,
man. Or geesh,
yeah,
like, but yeah, I mean, there were multiple plays where there's 3 Texas offensive linemen on the ground, and it's not because it's goal line or there's a big car pile up. It's just guys like falling on the ground, like
Well, it's
I don't know what to say, man.
What's also disheartening is how often people don't block anyone.
Yes.
No, like they'll just like on zone, they have no clue who their guy is. And so they'll look at 2 different guys and then they'll miss them both.
They'll split the difference.
Yeah, they'll split the difference and miss them both. And like that's what's worrisome because like even if you're wrong but you're going hard, like okay, but they're tentative, they're confused, and they don't end up blocking anyone. The tight ends do that. There's a really bad one where double tight ends on one side. I think it's outside zone. And the guy just splits between both tight ends. Neither one even touches them. And so they don't know their assignments. there's a ton of a guy shoots a gap and the guy in the backside looks at the other guy like an assumption of like, hey man, like that was your guy. I mean, it'd be different if it was they were trying really hard or looked like they knew what they were doing, but maybe they were physically inferior. It's not even there's also having issues being physically inferior, but also they don't know their assignments. They're not blocking people. They look at each other like they're both shocked on a lot of these, and it's just bad on the offensive line, like every aspect of it. And then occasionally they get a good run. There were some red zones where because they were playing four eyes, they just kind of ended up washing everybody, and the back could just cut for like 10 yards. But yeah, man, it's rough on the offensive line with the all 22.
Yeah, and what's unfortunate is you want to attribute it to inexperience, but it's not. These aren't mistakes of inexperience, really. So DJ Campbell has now started 34 games as a Longhorn. He's a senior. He had a play yesterday where it's 3-on-3 play side in zone blocking, and they don't get a double team. Two guys block two guys, and DJ Campbell doesn't block anyone. And the guy he should have blocked runs through the linebacker and nails our running back. And then DJ Campbell reaches over and helps the running back up.
Yeah.
And I was like, he kind of stood and watched. And I was just like, man, like this isn't good. Like if you have 3-on-3 and you're not sure, at least get a double on the guy closest to the hole and the defensive lineman and get a push into the linebacker, right? Yeah. Create some trash that linebacker has to get through to get to the ball carrier. Just no. I mean, it's really bad. And I can't think of any area where they're proficient in terms of run blocking. Pass protection was good. It was fun. Yeah. But UTEP doesn't have any pass rushers. So
Yeah. I sent it to Char. I sent him the all 22, looking at their base too wide at times. Other times it's too close. That's what's so strange is like, if I could find one theme, like they're doing this one thing wrong and it's leading to all of these problems, but it's different forms of ineptitude on each play. And so I don't know, man. It's really tough watching the all 22. And the tight ends, y'all, no excuses for y'all either, man. So it's just rough, man. They don't know the blocking assignments on a lot of it. Ian thinks that, hold on to GT counter and just run that, because the zone blocking, it's apparently too abstract for them right now on when fronts are moving and stuff. So I don't know. And handling slants, like everyone's going to slant the hell out of their defense. Like they're going to be moving pre-snap and all of that because we can't handle stunts or slants well at all. The communication is just really bad. Like they need to be like defensive backs and O-line. Like those are the two groups that have to talk to each other all the time. And they just don't. Like I'm looking pre-snap for them to, turn their heads, assuming they're talking to each other, and they're not. And then when the guy gets through, now they want to talk. It's like, well, you need to talk before the snap. And so they're not helping. Ian pointed out, they're not helping each other. Like sometimes you don't have to do a pure double team, but you can step into the guy, leverage him. Yeah, you can leverage him and help the other guys block. Yeah. But they're not helping each other. They're not talking to each other unless it's post snap to be like, I thought you were the one that was supposed to stop that. So it's rough. That's a tough part. If Arch's struggling to pass, it's not like you have the option of like, well, at least we have a great run offense to lean on. So it's going to be a fun little go this year, it appears. Sugarcane Daddy. I can't go back to the 2010s. I'll snap violently. I remember I was in school. Charlie Strong was when I was in college, and I came in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed like, man, can't wait to watch the Texas Longhorns. Like we could just elite no matter what. Step on the field, it's W's, baby, and just being like an utter shock. Everyone like Cain and Abel's after just like, what do you mean we're not good at football? So yeah, we'll see. Onward, Paul?
Onward and upward.
Onward. All right, let's do it. So we got Sam Houston, the mighty Bearkats. They're going through it, Paul, huh?
Yeah, they are a prime example of what happens to a G5 program that experiences some success. because they had their coach hired away to Temple, Casey Keeler. Sam Houston was a 10-win team last year.
I know.
And they had a good defense. I don't mean like group of 5 good. I mean like their defense would have been a mid-range defense in a Power 4 conference. That's how good they were. And they rode that defense and sort of ball control, running the quarterback to those 10 wins. They were a force. And Casey Keeler goes, that opens up the portal. They lose their top 16 tacklers.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys transferred. They could have returned, but they went to North Texas. They followed the defensive coordinator. That's improved North Texas, something y'all should note if you're interested in.
Shout out North Texas, baby.
Shout out to North Texas and Denton.
Yeah.
That's where the real dogs live.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
They lost some other guys to other P4 programs who are actually starting for them. And they brought on Phil Longo, who's the failed offensive coordinator at Wisconsin. And basically, he has brought a wide open spread offense to a team that was a ball control rushing offense last year.
Quarterback run, all that.
A lot of quarterback run. And Longo's belief is like, let's spread it out and throw it around. And it's not marrying very well to what Sam Houston wants to do. Watson, their quarterback, is not a very proficient passer. Mm-hmm. He's kind of like a Costco Haynes King. And I'd say Costco's nice, maybe a Save Mart.
I was gonna say, Costco's the known for the top tier of the bulk buying game.
Like, the groceries every now and then where you'll go by and it's like in a warehouse and all the food is like the cans are expired and you can buy them for like 43 cents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love those places. That's how I feed my son. I eat steak and caviar, but my son gets that. He basically eats Alpo.
You're just making it tough.
That's right. But they're not good. They're really struggling. They've got a talent deficiency. They've got some scheme deficiencies. Longo brought a guy named Mabry Matauer with him from Wisconsin to compete for the quarterback job. Matauer's not good.
Jeez, yeah.
He threw a pick 6.
Thrown 2, and he threw it in UNLV, and then he threw one again in Hawaii.
Oh, he threw 2. Okay. And then in like 12 attempts or something, right?
Yeah.
And then Watson is hurt or maybe hurt, not hurt.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
Sam Houston insider, like it's not official, but he said that he heard it was a grade 2 or 3 shoulder thing.
I love that you just said Sam Houston insider.
Yeah. No, they got a crew, dude. It's 2 guys, but they got a crew, dude. They got one. Right. And they're pissed, dude. Like they're calling out the admin. If you see the stands at the UNLV game, it's embarrassing. No one's in the stands.
Well, they're playing in Houston. They're
in the soccer stadium. And also the clock goes out for the entire second half. There's no clock. So the refs having to call it, and the announcer's like, I think there's 5 minutes left in the game. There's no clock for the second half. And then they're giving them delay of game penalties, but you can't see the 24-second clock. It doesn't exist. So they're having to go like 1960s football and keep track in their head what the game clock is and the snap clock.
That's great.
It was beautiful. And there's no one in the stands. It's brutal. You would think maybe UNLV would get some guys in the stands. Maybe. When I say no one, it looks like a COVID game. And it's strange. And then Longo kind of like calls out the fans after. That makes the insiders mad. And they're like, Longo's not a fit. The admin's not paying money here. Like, look, we're at FBS now. Y'all need to like actually treat it like that. Then the admin gets mad at the media, is like threatening to disbar them. And so like there's this whole thing there where like apparently the admin sucks over there right now and the fans are pissed and they're like going back at the fans and like it's just not a good look right now.
Well, what's interesting, Connor, is they're building a new stadium, right? And Sam Houston has decided, like a lot of universities, hey, let's pick a sport and be good at it.
Yeah.
And Sam Houston's in Texas, so they picked football.
Yeah.
And man, they're located in East Texas. Not to go on a Justin Wells rant here, but there's a lot of football players in Texas. Yeah. And quite a few of them may not qualify for traditional means. Like, you've got also a big JUCO presence. You have the ability to go get players there. I'm not saying it's a prime FBS job, but I mean, pound for pound, do you think it's a better job than UTEP?
Yeah, and they've had history of success too.
Yeah, in FCS, right?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, sure. Yeah. UTEP fans are like, oh, they were so mad at me last week. But yeah, it's rough over there right now. Longo seems totally disconnected. I don't think Longo's long for Sam Houston, especially trying to force this 11 personnel, still very spready, 4 wide offense when you don't have the horses for it. It's they're kind of beating their head against the wall right now, and it just doesn't look good. And Longo, like I said, his press conferences or whatever, he's just like souring the fan base every chance he gets. So he's just not good politics from Longo right now, like at all.
Yeah, I mean, performing badly and then berating the fans for not being excited is a bad combo as a coach. He should be cozying up to the diehards right now, saying, "Hey, I get it. I'm with you. I'm frustrated too. You got to give me time. I came in late. Because Longo, when he came in, didn't even have access to the portal until after spring practice, meaning he got the dregs that had been picked through by other G5 schools in that second portal window, right? So he has to be courting these guys, saying, "Hey, everyone's going to get their licks in this year. I get it, but here's my long-term vision." Like, he should be in sell mode, like sell. Hey, thank you for sticking with us. I hear you. I'm frustrated too. Boy, yeah, we were terrible last Saturday. Like, you've got to be in that mode right now. You can't be in how dare you. How dare you not support us?
Well, that's where it is, and the admin's doing it too, and so it's rough. And also, remember, it's Sammy's like those are grads. They're not a national fan base. You're not picking up Joe Fan. So, like, when you're talking crazy to the fans, you're talking to a lot of the alums directly, too. Yeah. And they're like, what are you going to tell me about Sam? He's a new guy. And so it's also that, dynamic with them as well. So it's rough.
Well, Longo coached there back in the day.
Did he?
Yeah. And so they tried to sell this as like the native son has returned home.
The Herman move.
Yeah. And it's, not really, but whatever. And the bottom line is Casey Keeler went to Temple. And Temple, if you've noticed, is playing a lot better, at least relative to what they were doing under Creighton.
Yeah.
But to not be able to retain him was really tough for Sam Houston. Their focus should have been on retention, because that just gutted the program. And that's the problem with the G5, right? It's all a pecking order. And so they just got obliterated and raided by all these other schools. And they're now down at the bottom, and they've got to completely start over.
All right. Before we keep going, though, guys, we're going to look at some numbers for both the Bearkats as well in comparison to this Texas team. Before we do that, let's hear a word from Academy.
Any gate can be a tailgate.
A little sting at the end. Dun, 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 dun. It's good. It gets stuck in my head. I've seen that commercial.
It's better than the music you pick.
400
intros and outros, Connor.
I have to pick what YouTube allows.
Dude, I've sent you like awesome songs. Like,
well, I can't play Matchbox 20, dude.
Pantera.
Those bands are, the irony is those bands, were like anti-corporatist, and they're like the most brutal when it comes to enforcing their IP.
Rage for the Machine.
They are not exactly. They are not anti. When it comes to their IP, they are very much by the book.
I do like when Bruce Springsteen does the like "I'm for the little guy" songs, and his concert tickets are like $3,000.
Yeah, dude, it's insane.
I like the little man living in a small town in Pennsylvania, working in a factory. That's going to be $3,000 to see me.
All right, so on the left here, Sam Houston State's offense. I've started incorporating in the inverse of the Texas thing because people are always like, I want to see Texas's numbers. So this is a way so y'all can see what's going on. And then if you don't want to do math, it's right here. It'll tell you who has the advantage. Okay, so Points per game, this offense is really struggling. So they had Hunter Watson. He went out, and him and Matoyer went back and forth. Like every 3 drives, one of them would make a mistake. Longo would pull him, put the other one in. They would make a mistake, pull him, and then it happened 3 or 4 times versus UNLV. Then Watson goes down for Hawaii. He's not able to play. Matoyer takes a headshot, like classic, slides and gets a concussion. Some dude smacks him. Hunter Watson's not even dressed because he's not supposed to play. He suddenly starts putting on his jersey and getting ready to play because I guess the third string option is that bad. They have to tell him no. But their quarterback and Matoyer, guys, is, I mean, it's awful. He can't read. He can't run. The wide receivers look like Jags because he can never get the ball to him. I don't know what the wide receivers are. In the all-22, they're covered pretty well, but they have a couple guys that would at least be of interest, but they can't get the ball to them. So everything is like run game with Elijah Green, who's a fast back, or screens or little dinky stuff, but they're just in the pass game totally inept right now, and you'll see this kind of by their numbers. So plays per game is actually slower for them. They're awful at time of possession. They're 3 and out all the time. Their defense on the field for like 80 plus plays a game, and that's why the defense struck. Well, the defense is not good, but also they're on the field all the time, dude.
Yeah, 2 interesting things. Elijah Green, the aforementioned running back, is their leading receiver.
Yeah,
and then secondly, they've lost every game by 17 points. Did you know that?
I didn't know, but they get beat bad. I know that.
41-24 to Western Kentucky and Maverick McIver. 38-21 to UNLV. 37-20 at Hawaii on the island. So 41, 38, 37. That's what the opponents have all scored. Can Texas break 40 points in this game, Connor?
They should be able to break 40 points in this game.
They should be able to break 50.
Yeah, they should be able to, Paul. So, yes, the numbers all scream 60 points.
I should be able to not eat a whole bag of Tostitos chips while watching college football.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
That's the bigger issue.
And so that's the trick. And I knew this was going to happen. So anytime I talk about bad offenses, it is going to sound like I'm describing our offense. But we're not allowed to talk about our offense yet. We'll talk about them later.
Yeah, Justin Wales, we're not allowed to.
But this is the problem. Like, I'm evaluating a bad offense. They're a limited offense, and Longo's trying to figure it out too. So that's a tricky thing. So really bad in points per drive, 96 in the country. They can't string anything together. Like I said, 3 and outs, 114th in the country in success rate. A little better with explosiveness. But also teams get so bored playing them. They just like fall asleep sometimes and then they get a little play. But look at the havoc rate.
Explain what an offense being bad at havoc rate means. Because I don't think most people that's intuitive to most people.
So havoc rate is just how many bad things happen to you. So sacks, interceptions, all of these kind of
tackles
stuff.
For loss.
Yeah, exactly. Tackles for loss, all of that stuff. So it just gets lumped into one formula called the havoc rate. So this is just how many bad things happen to your offense. And then so they're 122nd in the country. A lot of bad things happen. And then they break it down further. Is it a front 7 havoc causing that, or is it DBs causing the havoc? They're bad in both. This metric, if it's really far off, you can tell, if the DBs have a really high havoc rate, the quarterback's probably throwing a lot of picks.
Yep.
And if the front 7 has a low one, then the offensive line is probably stopping some things in the run game. So, but they're bad across the board. The havoc is being created at all levels of this defense. So interceptions, tackles for loss, fumbles, anything you can think of, a lot of bad things happen to this offense. Here's the rushing game. Elijah Green, I think, and they have some other backs that they played. Coco Brown versus like UNLV. I think McCaskill or whatever got hurt. So they had several backs. They have some guys injured. It's hard with teams that are these small to get really good injury reports because there's, like I said, there's like one guy that covers these teams. So I don't know who's going to be back and who's not. I can just kind of tell you who's been out. And they were on a bye this last week. They played week 0, 1, and 2. So they've had 2 weeks. So theoretically, got some guys could have healed back up and been ready. But their rushing success rate is really bad, 112. but teams fall asleep and they have fast backs. So occasionally they'll get a good run. So they're 32nd there. Just don't fall asleep. Stay gap sound. That Elijah Green is fast, so he can beat you occasionally in the game. Yards per rush, not that bad, 59th. So a clunky running game, but does have some decent moments, I would say.
So I'm going to offer a counterpoint on that. That's with Watson in the game.
Yeah.
Because Watson can run, and the presence of a dual threat quarterback allows them to introduce some option and zone read stuff. That does open up things because you've got to account for the +1. When Matauer is in the game, they're horrendous. And also worth noting that the 3 defenses they played are really bad.
Yeah.
Western Kentucky, awful. Hawaii, awful. UNLV, awful. Although they're starting to kind of get it together under Dan Mullen.
Dude, UNLV, I know every player on that team.
It's last chance you.
I'm like, all right. I'm like, Flo. I'm like, that's the linebacker. And I'm like, Troy O'Meary. All right. Whoa, Orgy. It's like, dude, Denver Harris. It's like, dude, I'm like, it is like the island for misfit elite in high school players that just, I bet the culture is an absolute nightmare there. It's got to be horrific.
I bet it's a bunch of turds.
Dude, it's got to just be literally insane, dude. And then you're in Las Vegas. Like, oh my God. I don't even know how you contain these group of players. But as far as having athletes, they have them. It was tripping me out watching UNLV. It's like I knew every player from 3 years ago in like recruiting. Okay. And then if you look, they had some decent moments in the run game. Paul mentioned astutely, because Watson can pull it. Texas guys still advantaged. This is the Texas defense in all of these inverse categories. So we don't expect rushing success.
Well, here's the crazy thing, Connor. We've played 3 games now. We gave up a 30-yard run against UTEP.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still number 1 in rushing explosivity. So literally that's been the only run that anyone's had on us all.
And I believe that's a boundary run that they hit that on. And if you watched the film study last week, San Jose State almost broke one on us in the boundary because of how we play gaps to the boundary and how McDonald has to guard it. And Jet Bush very astutely said every team from here on out is going to run this play against us.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to watch that there's something up with the boundary run game at times. And Jet called that really well. And then sure enough, same thing happened. So the player perspective there was very helpful from Jet to be like, every team is going to run this now.
One of my favorite things about Jet Bush is early. I was writing a thing about like the quality of our walk-ons. One thing Tom Herman did do a good job is he reinvigorated like, hey, let's actually go get walk-ons that can contribute, that are not only just going to give our guys a good look, but these guys are like good players who just want to play at Texas. They'll bypass major college offers to come play at Texas, right? Yep. Jet Bush, Michael Taff. Mm-hmm. And if you watch Jet Bush's high school film, like he was a really good off-the-ball linebacker. And so I remember writing this up and being like, we really need to look at, keeping this up, even though Herman didn't work out, that this is important because it really does give you like free cheat players, right? And then later in a different preview, I was writing about the team and jet sweep and like jet option, jet motion. And it was like in a preview of another team. And a poster was like, I don't see Jet Bush helping us on offense. And I was just like,
all right.
I got you. I think you're right. What? I agree. Good point.
Yeah.
Well said.
I can't even save you. You just have to be like, all right, Leo.
I was like, hey, good point, man. I don't think we want Jet Bush carrying the ball on orbit motion. I think we'll just play him at linebacker or edge. That's true. Okay.
Yeah. You should do personnel, man. This guy knows his players. All right. So this is their offensive line. So this is mostly backs and quarterbacks will break one. It's not, the offensive line is scary. Offensive line yards, 92nd in the country. Power success rate, got to have it down. It's 4th and 1, 3rd and 2. We got to make a play. They're 92nd in the country. Stuff rate, they get stuff behind the line often. 108th in the country. Advantage, once again, in this category is all Texas. That line is sketchy, and you'll see it in the pass blocking numbers too. Passing offense, they pass. They're trying to be the spread team, right? Let's go air raid. Let's do that. So they pass a good amount. It's all for naught, Paul. 106 in passing success rate. They're not explosive. It's all screens. It's all little dinky and dunky stuff. It's not. There's no really big stuff downfield. If they get something, it's they threw a screen and somebody misfits it and they're able to run for volume. But they're just not beating guys deep. And they had a little group of receivers, like 4 or 5 guys that they were excited for, but and they get covered a lot in all 22, so I don't think it's a killer group. But with this passing attack, there's no way you could even showcase anything you had. So it's tough. Yards per pass, 105th. QB sacked percentage, 114th in the country. And then O-line pass blocking efficiency, so we're counting hurries and pressures and QB hits, not just sacks. They're 107th in the country there. So advantage Texas in all of this as well. It's not a good offense, and it's beyond like not being good. They can't do anything. And so like with Watson in, you can run a little bit, but if he's hurt, Matoyer, I mean, there's no clue what's going on. He's not even looking at one side of the field. He's always looking at one player on one side of the field. And if they're not open, which they're not most of the time, he's going to start running around, and then they're going to just run up and tackle him. It's just really bad offense at Sam Houston State right now. Any other keys? Any depth charty stuff, Paul? Humphreys was interesting at 6'2", 225.
Yeah.
He didn't play all versus Hawaii. He kind of started. I think he was dealing with something lingering. But when I watched him in UNLV, he looks out of shape. Like that 225 is not muscle 225. He's kind of a tight endy. So Tim Burns had a really good run or touchdown versus UNLV. He can move a little bit. They will go 4 wide. They will do 10 personnel, that kind of stuff. But it's all for naught. They can't get the ball to these guys consistently anyways. They do play a lot of tight ends too.
What do you think Sam Houston worked on in their break?
I have no clue, man. Get Hunter Watson back. Belongo's being pig-headed, right? It's like, this is the system. This is the thing like that. So because I'm trying to look, and when you're in these situations, same with the Texas offense, now I'm turning to coaching. What are we changing? What are we adapting? And I doubt it. It felt like maybe the buy was get healthy, but Longo seems pretty dead set on running his system.
So do they think Watson can play or not?
I don't know yet. They don't know. From their one insider, they don't know. So
the insider is angry right now.
Yeah, therefore, I don't know. So, I mean, they need to, because Matoyer, I mean, if they score 10, I'll be shocked. So what's interesting is some of their athletes look good. Like they have some size. It doesn't look like they're totally inept. We got 315, 310, 320, 305, 310. So it's not like where you're seeing 280-pound tackles. That thing too. They have some crazy big tight ends too. Dylan Burke, 6'7", Lawton 6'6". So you'll see the tight ends on the field, and they rotate them all the time. Austin Smith, like they go through tight ends a lot, and they'll put them in the slot, and they'll put them in the gravedigger position to run back and forth on the line, but they can't do anything, guys. That's the message on the offensive side. So they're about to meet a really good defense. The offense sucks. Like I said, 10 points even feels like too much for this offense right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, they're going to score between 0 and 10. So the line on this game is like, what, 41?
No idea.
It is. So if they're at 0 to 10, can Texas put up 45 to 52? I mean, if you look at who they've played and their ability to put points up, like Hawaii's offense is terrible. And they put up high 30s on them. So that's interesting. I don't know.
There'll be another fun post game where we can win by 25 and we'll still just be like, God,
Well, so. I got crap on the round table because I was like, we're not covering against UTEP. There's no way.
Yeah.
And people are like, how are you? UTEP's terrible. You said UTEP's terrible. And I was like, yeah,
Our offense is terrible.
That's what I'm trying to convey.
Yeah.
But if there's a get-right game on the schedule, it's the Sam Houston Bearkats.
It's the only one.
So let me throw this out because I know we're going to talk about their defense. Do we come out in tempo with 6 scripted passing plays that Arch likes that we practice all week and just say, let's go. Let's get Arch like 12 out of 14 on his first 14 dropbacks?
And let's run him a little bit early too. Like Sark has been talking to himself in multiple pressers now about like, I need to get Arch going, and then he doesn't. So it's like, all right, well, get Arch going in the run game. Now, look, if Arch can't complete, there's nothing you can do, but it's give Arch the greatest hits. I don't want to see a ton of pro style. I don't want to see 2 tight ends. Like, spread it out, have him in the gun, give him a pull read on every play, make injuries a lead blocker when he cuts back across, just play the greatest hits. Because that's the style we're going to have to play in SEC play. People are killing me with the like, man, Sark's holding back. It's like, guys, please. I love fans, but what, guys? Is not.
Don't Phil Longo the fans.
Yeah, but it's like, no, guys, Sark is not embarrassing Arch nationally by not giving him the plays so he can like. There's no logic to that. So no, we're not holding back. I'm sure there will be wrinkles. Those wrinkles come for certain teams and certain game plans, but we're not sitting on a cache of weapons here that we're going to unleash in conference play.
What if, and I just want you to hear me out, don't respond until I've fully articulated my idea. Arch is a famous 5-star pedigreed guy, big national exposure. Steve Sarkisian was a 1-star quarterback, JUCO guy. Sark is jealous of him and undermining him. Agree or disagree?
It's got to be it, dude.
Okay.
That's got to be it.
All right.
That's why he's like, Quinn can only throw screens. Y'all will not get to shine. But that's going to be tough. Paul, who will not undermine your mortgage process?
Oh, quite the opposite. It's going to make it joyful, fantastic, and highly rewarding because you're going to get the best possible deal. This guy's who you get a call. Gabe Winslow, 832-557-1095. Or you can go to mortgagesbygabe.com. Why Gabe? Well, he's fantastic at what he does. Over 20 years in the industry. He's got a law degree, former National Merit Scholar at the University of Texas. And this guy loves what he does, and he's absolutely fantastic at it. We've had a bunch of people from the show call, and the feedback I've gotten from them is absolutely glowing and incredible. Like, I had no idea I could deal with people at this level who basically take over the entire process. And I know they're out there working to get me the best possible deal, the best possible rates, and the best possible structure. Getting a mortgage is not just getting a quote online, folks. There's a lot going on, and you need a guy who could explain this process. Most of us in our lives, Connor, will buy a house once, twice, 3 times in our whole lives. Gabe does this every day for 20 years. His level of expertise, his level of sophistication is so much higher than ours. Give him the process and let him surprise and wow you. 832-557-1095.
Good stuff. All right, let's talk defense and as a proxy for our offense. This is just quick at the end. You can see their standard downs rate is 4 from last. So they're constantly in passing downs for Sam Houston. Passing down rate, and they're just not. It's just really bad, guys. I don't know what else to tell you besides they're really bad. They're the last in the country on third down. It's tough. It's tough.
Look at our red zone.
It's not our red zone.
No, ours.
Oh, ours comparatively.
102.
So this is TD only.
Yeah, I want TDs in the red zone.
Yeah, the problem with the defense, this is Texas defense. And because when they only let guys in the red zone like 3 times and they've scored twice.
Yeah.
So it ends up that's the Texas defense red zone rate is really bad right now. But
so it's a small sample size.
There's huge context there because like teams have only got in there 3 times. Most of the time it was at the end of the game, that kind of thing.
Wait, no, that's not right. You're comparing their D to our D? Why are you doing that?
No, we're on offense still.
Okay.
We're on their offense, our defense.
I thought we transitioned.
No, we were, but I realized we didn't even hit their situational offense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be hilarious if I was comparing our offense to their offense.
People do that, though.
People do that, yeah.
You like read traditional media newspaper, like they'll be like quarterback versus quarterback, advantage Texas or whatever. Yeah. Well, they wouldn't say that now, but
yeah. No, this is our defense compared to their offense, but
okay.
It's a rough offense. There's not much to it, guys. Don't expect much from them. Now this is Sam Houston's defense versus our offense.
All right, now we're cooking.
Yeah, now we're cooking, boys. Okay, so this is their defense. They're 121st in opponent points per game. They're 108th in opponent plays per game. Like I said, 75. Their offense is never on the field. So this defense is – you look at their all-22, the offensive all-22 is like 40 minutes. Their defense is always an hour. It's like they play 20 minutes more than their offense does. So it really destroys their numbers. Defensive success rate, 106 in the country. It's just no good.
Wow, they give up over 3 points per drive.
Yep.
That's incredible.
It's incredible.
That's not good.
Yeah. What is interesting, though, is Texas is 133rd on offense and explosiveness. So Houston, even at 70th, has the advantage on shutting down our offense.
What a battle this Saturday.
Yeah. So in theory, on paper, we should have less explosive plays because on paper, Sam Houston State is a better defensive team on stopping.
So we should have less explosive plays than Hawaii.
Yeah. Because we're 133rd in the country in offensive explosive.
Great. That's cool.
There's 136 teams, guys. So yeah. Havoc total below average. Nothing crazy there. Their DBs are better. Their front seven it's a nightmare. So they play a weird scheme. It's a 3-4 that becomes a 4-2-5. That's also a 3-3 at times, and they'll play just one true defensive tackle, and he's a zero tech. And then they have these defensive ends that are bigger guys. Diaz. Let's see here. They have all these fun names for him.
Oh, the Beast.
Diaz and Sheedy.
They have a striker, a beast, and a rover.
Yeah, exactly why I'm having to put that's a nickel, that's a safety, because they just have all these silly names. But if you look, these guys are 250 and 245, which is okay when they're 5 techniques, but they'll move them in it to 3 techs. So it'll be two 250-pound 3 techs and then a nose 0, and the nose is still not big. Lawton is still 260 pounds. So you have basically 3 defensive ends playing defensive line. And as you can tell, that's generally not going to go well.
Why? Well, I mean, that's your opinion. They're beasts.
They're beasts after all. What if Archer's left-handed? As Joe asked Sark. we need.
If Joe would ask that question with great sincerity, I would be very happy.
Joe's so sweet; he could probably get away with it, But
have you ever
Joe,
considered that?
Yeah, hold him accountable. Hold him accountable, Joe.
I'll say this about Joe: great dude, holds no one accountable.
Yeah, never holds Sark accountable, dude. Yeah, if you guys don't know the inside joke on the board, people would get mad at Joe about holding Sark accountable when we sucked, like it was Joe's specific job to just say that fans were mad at him. And so now we always just joke that Joe never holds Sark accountable no matter what.
Hey, very quickly, can we address a question from JRay626?
Paul, what are your thoughts on Sark's presser?
Here are my thoughts, JRay626. It's a press conference. And so Sark is going to be as optimistic and as confident as possible.
He feels more optimistic, though. Even after post games, he's making me nervous. Because, when we were winning more, he wasn't that optimistic. He was, just an affect, and now he's, chipper. And that makes me scared because it makes me think that he realizes that there's a lot, coming down hard on them is only going to freak him out more. So he's, going very positive now.
Well, there's an old coaching saw of when you're doing well and crushing people, you berate your team constantly.
Right.
When your team is really struggling, you actually are supportive and sweet and nice and say confidence-inspiring words, right? So that's not a weird thing. That's even Saban kind of believes that, right?
He did it. He did it. Remember, Saban got nice in his last year.
Yeah,
he was, and I was like, uh-oh. But it is an omission that they know that it's not going so great when they make.
I just think he's trying to instill confidence.
You have to.
Yeah.
He's saying don't give up on us and that kind of stuff. It's like, oof. All right. So their defensive rushing success rate is 70th, so people can string together some runs against them. They have been good at defensive rushing explosivity because they have everything's like on this interior. So it's like they're 3 down. Sometimes it's a 3-3 stack. It's not a 3 high safety thing, but everyone is very eyes to the box, forward looking. So they're pretty good about like collapsing down on the run or on a screen or something like that. Anytime they have to go backwards is where the nightmares start. But they're not bad as far as getting to the ball on a run play. Let's see, Bean, what we got here. Thank you for the chat, man. Nobody has been harder on Arch than me, but reality teams will have to score 24 to 27 points to beat us, and our defense most likely will not give that up. More ugly wins, head, and high blood pressure. Yeah, my scare. I think it's about right. Like 21 kind of seems like the ceiling versus SEC play if the offense continues like this. And then you're going to have to kick some field goals. Defense just can't give up 24, like you said. Paul, what do you think?
Bean, thanks for the super chat. Good observation. Here is my caution to that. The days of a great defense carrying a bad offense are over in college football. Here's
kind of the Iowa method.
Well, here's the proof. Last year, 5 of the top 10 defensive teams in college football lost more than 4 games. Half of the top 10 defenses in college football lost 4 or more games. Okay. In the top 10 offenses in college football, no matter how good their defense was, none of them lost more than 3. There were teams in the top 20 in college football defense, multiple teams that were losing teams, that had losing records. The days where your classic Texas football of the 1970s and 80s, where you score 16 points and you win the game by 10, that's over. The rule set favors offense, and offense is the only side of the ball where you can actually control the ball. When you have a bad offense and a great defense, your great defense can be sitting on the sideline and your teams can still be hemorrhaging points because your offense is so bad or inept, they're turning it over or they're actually allowing points to be scored by the other team's defense. So that is the fundamental issue. That's a problem. And that's the shift. And people will say, well, Michigan was defensive oriented. Michigan actually had a top 10 offense in efficiency.
Wow.
So that's just the reality of it. And it's increasingly a tough thing to overcome in the modern rule set. And I'm going to write an article about this today. It's going to be a really quick one, but you can go through the top 20 defenses in college football last year, and about 9 or 10 of them were on teams that weren't very good.
Well, also, when we say like a ball control offense, like that's easy. Good ball control offenses execute their ass off. Like they're like, and we can't execute. So basically, if you're bad at ball control, that's just 3 and outs. And so it's like those guys have really good scheme. They pick their punches, those kind of things too. So, and it's a style Sark hasn't played. So it's also expecting them. I think it's one of the few options, but that's also kind of scary. But their defensive rushing explosivity is good. Texas's rushing offense explosivity is 130th in the country.
Is that good?
It's great, Paul.
Okay.
It's better than 5 other teams. So that's nice.
So we have 130 yards of rushing explosives every game. That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what that means?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I'm not a sophisticated stats guy like you.
Yeah.
But I see this as a good thing.
For people not getting the sarcasm, we're 130th in the country in offensive rushing explosivity. So we're in mismatch territory. I'm thinking of adding like an exclamation point whenever it gets so broad that it shows mismatch. So on the paper, we should not be able to get, those 15-yard runs, and we don't get them anyways. That's why we're 130th in the country in rushing explosivity. So their defensive rushing is definitely the strongest part of their defense, undoubtedly. But we'll have to see with our blocking. I mean, we could be on air in a lot of these things and we're messing up. So, and with the backs, right, we have Wisner and Baxter that can at least read, blocks generally. They're not explosive though. They're not going to like go off and, they don't make quick jump cuts in the hole and they don't speed up and get past guys, but at least they can read. Our young backs, there was some positive signs. But, half the time they would do some weird stuff like here is the hole. And then they're like, I'm going to the sideline because I'm a young back and I'm scared of reading all of that. So James Simon is an interesting player that I want to see more of in the running back room for sure. But, when the offense line does block well, then the backs do something weird. It's like it's always something and you can never guarantee what it's going to be. So it's tough for us on offense, boys. Their defensive line is really bad. And it's because, like I said, they're all 50 to 60 pounds underweight, and they play true defensive ends like in 3-tech sometimes. It's a strange scheme. It's a fun scheme to try to study, but it doesn't work. So don't expect much from their defensive line. This is where when people say that the Texas offense should put up 60 points, this is what everyone on Twitter is talking about. They're 119th in opponent passing success rate. Teams are able to drive the field. They're 85th in pass explosivity. You can get behind them. It happens all the time. They're also aggressive to like try to come down to the run. So play action's effective with them and you can slip right by them as long as you can hit it. Opponent yards per pass, 95th. They don't do anything in the pass rush. They're 86th in QB sack rate. So flip side, they're 114th in defensive success rate in the pass. Texas is 114th in the country in offensive passing success rate. So we are one of the worst at putting drives together in the pass in the country. So we technically have an advantage by 5 spots, but this is one of the worst passing consistency offense versus one of the worst passing defenses. So it's a little rough there too. Just so you guys know, Texas on offense, we're 82nd in opponent yards per pass. What we are good at is QB sack rate. So they don't sack the quarterback often. We don't get sacked often. The issue with this is sacks aren't telling all of the story with our offense because Arch is pressured a high rate and it's not owned pressures. So I think he's pressured he's like 64th in the nation for getting pressured, and only 14% of those are on Arch. So though we're like, hey, the offensive line is good at pass blocking, that's because we're looking purely at sacks and Arch moves well in the pocket. But if we're including pressures and all of that stuff on top of it, it's actually not a great pass blocking unit if we're just looking at results. Sheesh. Their defense is 99th in the country in efficiencies. Texas's offense, OFEI, is 19th. That is dropping by eight spots every week. So we started off highly there. And keep in mind, FEI is including priors until about week 6. So you're seeing 2024 Texas in this number right now.
Why did they do that?
They just do. A lot of them include priors in the non-con because non-con is so different between different teams. If you're playing FCS versus whatever.
That's a pre-portal back-tested thing that probably had salience, and now that's not meaningful.
FEI has far less value earlier in the season. Once they make the switch to full season, no priors, Texas is going to sink like a rock in FEI. Because they have priors right now, and we're still dropping 8 spots every week. So that's great there. Okay. Situational defense, they're really bad. They don't get a lot of standard downs. or they do get a lot of standard downs, and you don't want that on defense. And they don't get enough passing downs where teams are obviously doing their thing. Early downs, EPA on defense, they're letting teams have a bunch of success early on. They're really bad at third down defense. And then they're bad in the red zone. They let teams score a lot. So
something's got to give.
Something's got to give.
Look at their D returning production thing. That's in relation to they lost their top 16 tacklers.
Yep. So they're 135th in the country in returning production. Let's look at Texas offense situationally. This is where Texas is a nightmare. We're looking at this side of the line. Right here, we have passing down success rate. When we get stuck behind the sticks, the Texas offense is 115th in the country. We can't do anything when we're behind the sticks.
I mean, you have to look at that relatively. There's 700 college football teams?
This is just FBS.
Are you sure?
I'm definite. Yeah, there's 136.
All right. I'll take your word for it. You're the stats guy.
Take my word for it. I think there's 8 million football teams, so it's pretty good. And then when they are in standard down success rate, they're at 65th, so like 2 spots above average. So we gotta check that kind of stuff out. All right, I'll keep clicking the StreamYard screen and not the actual document. It's confusing me. Texas offense is 115th in third down defense in the country. They are 94th in the country for average third down distance. So the number's not on here, but we average 7.42 yards per third down.
Oh, that's not good.
So that means that half of our third downs are more than 7.42 yards. So it's not good. And then red zone offense for us, we're 116th in the country. Situationally, this Texas offense is an absolute nightmare. These are scary numbers. I've said it. This is Oklahoma last year numbers. This is a lot of losses are coming your way numbers. And like I said, we can't out of one side of our mouth clown Sam Houston State's numbers on offense and then look to the other side of the Texas offense that's numbers are highly similar. So if Sam Houston State can't do nothing, Texas got similar numbers.
What happens when a stoppable force meets a movable object?
Yeah, I know that's the big question.
Physicists have been asking that ever since the time of Newton.
Yes.
And we're going to find out on Saturday.
Yes. So it's pretty rough for us on offense, but our returning production on offense was 109th. So that's a factor. Looking at their penalties per game, they're 88th in the country. Poor net field position, 78th.
Look at our team talent rating.
Yes, I wish this was a benefit to us.
So pretty much everything you just said is nonsense.
Yeah, because they're the 114th most talented team in the country. Texas is the most talented team in the country, yet our offense is performing like Sam Houston State's offense.
But you don't understand potential.
That's true. We have a lot. We have so much potential, dude. The refs should give us 21 potential points.
I've always thought we should start the game with recruiting rankings points added to the scoreboard before the game.
For sure. You
should do a reveal on it in the second quarter. Yep. And you're like, oh, we're actually up 24-3.
Their special teams suck, 119th. Texas actually 20th in special teams. I didn't expect that, but we have it. Now, what's interesting is the strength of schedule for the FEI guy is we have the hardest schedule in the country right now, according to their metrics, which is interesting too. But guys, really, it's just the offense is absolutely terrifying numbers wise. If a lack of performance versus this defense is another very bad omen.
Well, I think you're overly negative and you hate Texas.
For sure. I hate them, dude.
You're kind of a North Texas guy.
This is an ironic t-shirt that I wear. It's a joke.
You're more of a do they go by mean green or Eagles now, North Texas?
Generally mean green is what people call them, but I'm sure on the broadcast they call them the Eagles, but everybody is always mean green growing up.
Do you know why they're called the mean green?
Because of Mean Joe Green, dude.
All right, good job.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fun fact they put in your head in Denton at like age 3. They're like, at one time we had a really good player. So yeah, this is the reality, guys. If the Texas offense is struggling on third downs and just looks inept again, buckle up for SEC play. That's all I can really give you.
Well, that was pretty negative and had a lot of numbers and nonsense.
Yeah.
I just think we need to play good football. How about that?
Well, Paul, why don't we just need reps?
We just need reps.
We just need reps, dude.
It's an inexperienced team, Connor.
Yeah, we just need reps, dude.
DJ Campbell has 5 penalties in 3 games because he's not. If
he needs reps. Oh no, you muted out, Paul. We lost you. Paul's has this incredible saga going on with his mic for like the past 3 weeks. It'll just turn off on him. It's actually pretty remarkable.
Okay, am I back?
You're back, baby.
Man, the stuff I said while I was muted was so funny and so on point.
Yeah. I'm
just gonna let it. I can't redo it because then you lose the originality of it. So
that's a good point.
Y'all just imagine like really funny, insightful stuff that makes you want to give.
I was going to say it was also smart too. It made you think.
It was poignant, and it would make all of you want to give $100 super chats. So I just saved you some money by muting myself.
Yep. All right, Paul. Do you have anything to tell the fan? What are you looking for, man?
Paul's mic just needs reps. That's really good. Good job, Sam, man.
Besides reps, Paul, what do you want to see in this matchup?
We need to go score, and we need to find something to get Arch in rhythm. And then I'm not being reactionary, fella, here, but if Arch doesn't play to a certain standard, you got to have him sit for a while and watch, and you've got to put in the backup.
Thank you, man. I'm getting told that I'm the crazy guy for being like, look, man.
You are the crazy guy for a lot of other lifestyle choices that we'll talk about offline.
Sure.
But no, I do think that you do risk losing credibility with your team. Yeah. Like quarterback is a different position. And as a non-quarterback, I always had a slight resentment that I could have a bad snap and I'm going to get pulled.
Yeah.
But a quarterback can just stink for 9 quarters consecutively. And they're going to be like, oh, it'll come around, you know?
Yeah.
But it is a different position, and you do have to have more patience. But I do think there's value sometimes. I'm not saying you bench him permanently. I'm not saying you have him drop his transfer papers. I'm saying if you go out and you're 0 for 9 in the first quarter, you're going to sit down and you're going to watch in the second quarter. And then we're going to roll you out there in the third quarter and see if things calm down for you. But we can't just keep doubling down and saying it's lack of reps or inexperience. That's not what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And you don't do it in a punitive way. You don't do it in like, go sit on the bench. You suck. You know, you just say, hey man, I want you to stand by me. I want you to watch this series with Matthew. I want you to hear the call and I want you to see what he's looking at and what's going on. I want you to see this perspective because it can be helpful for the quarterback.
Yeah, everyone jumps and like talks past it when we're like, look, man, see another quarterback that we mean like Arch must transfer, you're done forever. It's like, no, we just get a bus. Hopefully Caldwell can drive the bus, just complete what's at least open, and hope the defense can do their thing. But yeah, it's a strange argument when people are like, you just got to get through it. It's like, guys, we're in year 5. You just saw the most talented team. Like, this is not some little get through. Like, you cannot sacrifice the season if it continues. I'm not saying to do it today, but you can't just throw the season for one player's mental state, you know? And so you can't do that to the rest of the team. That's not cool. And so I think that was a good point, Paul, because you agreed with me, and therefore it's a good point.
And we can end on that.
We can end on that. Chat, thank you guys very much. Paul, Ian, and myself are about to go into a film study. You guys will see that film study later today. I know you guys like those. We'll talk a little offense, a little defense, a little bit of everything for you. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, it's an editing heavy video, so hopefully I'll have it out around 4 or something like that. But thanks for hanging out.
You will have it out by 4.
I will have it out by 4. Thank you.
Hey, chat, thank you for your awesome contributions. You guys made me laugh and smile, and always good observations from you guys. You guys are an awesome community. Thanks.
You guys can join another awesome community. Join for just $1 for the first week at Inside Texas. Get a full year of access to The Athletic. Guys, IT it's smart analysis over there. You'll learn more about football. And on top of that, recruiting. A bunch of guys just got named 5 stars for us again. So you'll be updated on that. And, of course, any team news and all that kind of stuff, guys. Inside Texas is the spot you want to be. Paul, God bless you. Chat, God bless you as well. Everyone have a wonderful day. This was IT Live, and it was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Later.